So, you know them, you love them. They are MRX. Labs and Extraction. So, thank you, and I do want to point out they're also going to sponsor Summer Fair, which is coming up July 29th. If you're interested, Summer Fair, awesome last year. It's going to be awesome again. MRX has stepped up not just for this event, but for that event, Labs and Extraction. And here you go. Thank you. You guys are the best.
So I'd actually like to start by thanking Amy, who's really been a pioneer for our industry. Not just here, what she's done in the state of Oregon, but even on a federal level. So thank you, Amy, and her team for everything they've done. You know, the number one question I think the MRX family gets asked is, how do we get started? So if everyone just wants to settle in, Amy said I have half an hour, so I'll try to cut it down a little bit. Yeah, but I figured negotiating with Amy, you always got to start high, so I hopefully got an extra minute there. But we get asked that a lot, and you know, as a family, we decided we wanted to get in the cannabis industry, but we also wanted to find the sector that would best complement our skill set. We knew we weren't world-class growers like a lot of you are in this room. We knew we weren't amazing chefs or expert retailers. My family comes from the produce industry, which has always been a very heavily regulated market. We also come from the technology sector as well, that's dealing with robotics and automation. And so we looked at the landscape in Oregon a few years ago and wanted to see how we could utilize our skill set. And we really saw the need for analytical testing labs. When we looked at the market a few years ago, there didn't seem to be a lot of transparency or repeatability. And so when we opened up our lab doors, we wanted to go extreme the other way. And so what we did was, we actually, on a transparency level, we welcomed people in our lab. We wanted people to come in. We wanted to educate them about the testing process. We installed quality control measures that would help ensure integrity and accuracy. We helped implement bagging tags before they were even required to maintain valid chain of custodies. And then on the analytical testing side is actually how we got started at MRX Extractors. We started seeing all this CO2 oil come into our lab about 3 years ago, and about 3 years ago was a completely different landscape with oil, I thought. It was, a lot of it was very dark, it didn't look good, it didn't smell good, it didn't taste good. Not that I would try customer samples that were bought legally, but, and when we did terpene tests on it, terpenes were essentially non-existent at the time. A lot of them, we did solvents tests, a lot of them were cut with propylene glycol and other solvents. My partner, Paul Tomaso, who is a CEO and also an engineer, in every industry he's ever been in, he's kind of identified bottlenecks and deficiencies. And what we realized is that if someone doesn't have full process control over their CO2 extraction, it does, in fact, strip the terpenes. You also don't have repeatability. You're relying on an extraction artist that if they're sick the next day, the person that comes in and runs it would probably get a different result. And so we set out to build a CO2 extractor that had full process control, that meant that you have repeatability over the process no matter who was running the machine, and that would preserve terpenes through the extraction process. We also, just the way we engineered and built them, we built them with not where standards were 3 years ago, but knowing that the strict permitting as far as ASME, UL approved, that's how we started. And so we've been able to get everything permitted. And so, but that said, we couldn't have done that with without a lot of you in here. A lot of you helped us along the way on this. A lot of you guys shared knowledge. And that's one of the things I just want to comment on. What's really unique about Oregon is just how sharing and open everyone is. And that's so important for our industry to move the whole industry forward. Not a lot of other states are like that. And so I appreciate what everyone does in being so open. And even just take this event, for example, the OCA. They're bringing a lot of industry experts and leaders in this room. And just in the chance when you guys get a network with people, you can learn a lot. And so definitely take advantage of that. And then in that sharing too, I'd just like to extend a personal invitation to each and every one of you to take the time and come to our lab, talk to our scientists, learn about compliance testing. If you want QC labs for your own, whether it be extraction facilities or doing recipes, take advantage of that. Come meet with us. If you want to set up labs in other states, we're happy to help on that site too. And then or visit our extraction facility in Canby, where we manufacture. And we're an open book. We'll share everything we know about CO2 extraction and refinement, post-processing. So please take us up on that. Lastly, I'd just like to say a thank you as well to Representative Earl Blumenauer, who's really been a lifelong public servant. to Oregon and just what he's done for the industry. He's really had the courage to stand up, and not just for Oregon, but nationwide. And so I thank him for that. Senator Ron Wyden and his staff, you know, they've always been, whenever the industry needed someone to step up and go to bat for us, they've always done that. And so I appreciate everything they do. And then just even Governor Kate Brown in her office. They've really made historical strides with the advancement of cannabis policy reform. And so I'm really proud of what Oregon's doing here. And so I just want to thank you everyone for taking the time to listen. Enjoy your evening, and thank you.